Hello YouTube, I'm back again with another rant video, and this is something that I will definitely speak on that you can see here that I'm willing to talk about. It takes place inside of an airplane, as you can we can presume, which is going on, and it is disturbing because I'm going to explain what's going to happen in this scenario. You have this old man in glasses. Apparently, he was sending people an airdrop and people were willing to accept it. So everybody, all the passengers had access to it of what he was sending them. One of the passengers beside him, found out it was him because he had a device, whether it was a laptop. I'm pretty sure it was a laptop. They found out he was the one that he was sending the disgusting graphic photos where he had somebody at the bottom and it showed his genitalia, and she questions him because she's very shook. She's wondering, "Are you the man that was sent me the photo on my airdrop on the airdrop?" He's like, "Yes." He actually admits it right on the spot. I'm not too sure why he would admit it because he's basically confessing. Maybe it's to maybe so people can actually forgive him, and hoping maybe they be willing to not smite him despite what he did is very unforgiving and is very disturbing, considering is very vile, and the moment he confessed, the same lady that I'm talking about happened to be the passenger I was sitting beside him. She immediately calls the flight attendant. She's outraged. She lets the flight attendant know that this man has sent her an airdrop of him doing inappropriate acts in the photo with somebody, and some people, and then the flight attendant argues with him. She questions him why he would even do it. Apparently his reason was that he was just trying to have some fun, but I personally don't think that's really good enough answer because we don't know what his intent was. We need to know the entirety of him committing that act, because the fact that he's showing an airdrop throughout the entire airplane to all the other passengers, meaning that there could have been a minor that could have been using an iPhone and it could scar the flight. That's why it is very important that we bring that up too, because we don't even know really what his full intent was, whether it was a joke or not. It's not really a laughing matter. And this guy at this point is would be considered an actual predator because whether he doesn't know who he's sending the pictures to, if a child gets access to that kind of photo, he will be addressed as that person, and people are gonna hold him accountable. Just like when you see read the bottom, they're waiting for him to be escorted by the police once they reach the nearest airport, and he's gonna have to answer to them. And the lady, even the passenger, was even arguing with him. She was outraged. She calls him out, saying that this is definitely inappropriate. Not only that, it's sexual harassment. She kind of got me confused afterwards. She's claiming that sexual assault is not, but it is definitely harassment. But he did not put hands on anybody. But yeah, at the same time, it is still a crime because you are sending inappropriate graphic matter towards random people, especially even if you don't know. That's why you don't do it in the first place, because you don't know what kind of risk you're taking. You don't know how the charges will escalate, or how worse they'll get depending who you're randomly sending it to. So his excuse that it was just to have some fun, but it doesn't seem like it. Just seemed like he has some type of gratification and some type of urge doing these inappropriate acts because it turns him on. And hopefully maybe that'll get the person interested, because that's not understand the mentality, because they want people to be interested in them. When in reality, it's just make themselves look more creepier and foolish than ever. Cause who would want to approach him? Seriously, Who would be interested in an old man that sends dirty photos of himself, who's already probably most likely had a vasectomy, like who doesn't even know how to get his own thing circumcised? I honestly don't even think he's circumcised, to be honest. Even and that sounds inappropriate, but like, who would trust a guy like that, honestly? Because considering he's not mature for his age, and you expect more from someone like him to be a lot more wiser, especially if you're an old man. Like, just honestly disgusting. This is why you can't even you can't trust your kids with any adult, whether they're old or not, just because they seem harmless. They're actually the least harmless when you have them around your kids. Don't even expect to place your kids around like older people, whether they are old, like if they're a senior or not. Like, you can't count on those people, because through time to through time and time again is that these people have ill intent. And I'm not applying to all the people of all of that age at that age group, but people need to realize these people can't entirely be innocent, because there are people who have ill intent because of the type of like gratification they want to like obtain, that they want to receive, and for them they want to be able to please their pleasure. And from what I understand afterwards, besides all my mumbo jumbo explanations, the police did escort him, but they did not arrest him because he did not officially put hands on anybody. He did not physically touch somebody. And they were questioning the woman about like how she even knew it was him. It's the fact that he confessed, and that there were people behind him that were complaining. There was even somebody, once he admitted, that one of the people in the back overheard, and they were outraged too, though. Like, they were going to do something, because I'm guarantee you one of them had like a child sitting right beside them, and the fact that if the child noticed, the parents will have a word to say in this. They would not take this lightly. They would be willing to confront the person, but since they're inside an airplane, they don't want to cause a lot of drama because it might freak people out. But unfortunately, like, the police didn't do enough. Like, they just simply like had a conversation, like discussed it with him about what's going on, and like what, like, eventually if it leads to any serious harm, then they have, the only way they can arrest him unless they hear from actual victims that he might have victimized. Because now these kind of investigations, like, this is the thing though, these people can send graphic photos, yet the police can't outright arrest them because they need to hear from actual victims, whether they potentially just like physically assaulted somebody, whether it's sexually or like or harmfully. At the end of the day, these type of situations, they do take time. That's why the police can't single-handedly arrest people, because they have to follow their procedure. So things like this, it does take some time, but it's like they can't outright arrest people, because as long as until they arrest, the only way they can arrest someone is unless they find a potential victim that they might have possibly harmed, because they feel like this is just simply a slap on the wrist. Honestly, it's like some people do get arrested because they have habits of doing it, and they've been getting several complaints. But this could, for them, could be a first complaint that he's been doing it. Maybe I wouldn't. I'm not saying he's never done this before, but they could say that he could say that this is a first. And the only complaint that they got is that it happened on the airplane and nowhere else outside the airplane. Because like for the police to actually take action, they have to hear more complaints. They have to hear more from other people. And the only way they can take this seriously, again, like I said, if he's actually harmed somebody. But again, that's why that's why people rather take matters into their own hands rather than count on the police, because they feel like they're not doing the job. But again, they have to follow procedures, because you can't just single-handedly arrest somebody if they're not like caught in the act of committing a crime. I'm not, like I said, I'm not like I can't be in the police's footsteps. At the same time, I understand, but it's like they're considering they're like law enforcement forces that make their job seem a lot worse, or they give their own their own employees a bad name, they give their own colleagues a bad name, but it gives people second thoughts whether they should trust should trust law enforcement or not, and that dictates how people think about them and whether they should take matters into their own hands and realize that if the police aren't going to be there and willing to do the job, they might as well take the risk, whether they go to jail or not, and just simply go out and take vengeance on the person who has unjustly harmed one of their close ones, if you guys get what I mean. But like I said, unless there is more updates to this, then for sure, then guarantee you, then there's more to come to this man, and then his karma will be a lot bigger than it is now, and they feel more embarrassed. Because I can tell you now, he is embarrassed. Because not only is he a creep, but the fact that he was willing to do this on the airplane and admit what he's doing and see nothing wrong with his behavior. Because it's not like he's trying to own up to it. He's only apologizing because he's being confronted about it. And that's the thing. People like this will not admit it. If they feel that you have no evidence against them, or if they've never been in a situation where they incriminate themselves, and they feel if they admit, if they confess now, along with all the evidence that's being revealed right in front of them, that's being shown in their face, they feel like they have to admit it, they have to confess, so they can get like a lighter punishment. That's all there is to it, honestly, you guys. But again, I feel like the next time if he does something like this, it's not going to be the same scenario where he'll just be more cautious. And if he does, then his misery is going to be a lot worse for him to come if he's going after innocent people who cannot defend themselves, and he's using his power over those people to feel that he can simply take action and abuse those that are vulnerable where he sees fit, if you guys get what I mean. But again, that's why he's going to be more cautious, but eventually he may end up getting contact, and then the punishment may be worse. Who knows? That we're all going to eventually have to wait on that. But again, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to check for more upcoming content later in the future. Be sure to check your notifications, comment, like, subscribe. Thank you.